I'm Chris Lee of Southeastern 14, presented by the Bearded Iris Brewing Company, here to recap SEC baseball games from Saturday, May the 6th. Let's start in Starkville, Mississippi, where the day ended earlier than thought because Arkansas has run-ruled Mississippi State 14-2. I don't know what else to say about the Razorbacks at this point, honestly. I keep waiting for this team to fall because of all the injuries. It's not just been pitchers, it's been hitters now. Arkansas fans, you know the story. This is just incredible. Although I guess with Dave Van Horn, nothing is incredible. But anyway, Arkansas just wallops Mississippi State in an interesting pitching sequence. Brady Tigert, who's been their closer, starts and goes 2 innings. Will McIntyre, who started a good bit, goes 5 innings and gets a save by giving up 2 runs. And Arkansas just hit the ball. Kendall Diggs, Brady Slavens, Caleb Kali all hit home runs. Mississippi State, I don't know what else to say about the pitching at this point. State pitched 4 guys. They were all bad. Arkansas now ends the day, I think a half game out of first place, depending on what LSU does on Sunday. We'll get to the Tigers in a minute, but this is amazing. Arkansas is now making a run at the SEC overall regular season title. I don't think anybody would have expected that, given all the players Dave Van Horn and the Razorbacks have lost. Okay, another team that had a shot to make a push for the SEC's overall title that's also been beset by injuries is South Carolina. And whereas Arkansas has gone one way, Carolina has gone the other. Although for Carolina, the problem, in addition to the mounting injuries on offense, it's been the pitching, because the guys that had pitched well at times this year are now not pitching well. Yesterday, as we do this Sunday morning, that was Jack Mahoney and James Hicks, who give up 12 runs between the two of them in 7 innings. But let's not forget the Kentucky side of things here, guys, because I saw Kentucky play 3 games in Nashville last week, and that team can hit up and down the lineup. It is not the gaudiest lineup. It's not the flashiest lineup, but these guys just take pitches and walk and push counts and foul balls off. And after a while, that takes a toll on a pitching staff. Yesterday for Carolina, Jack Mahoney threw 97 pitches, James Hicks 51, and Connor McCrary threw 21. That is what Kentucky does to you. As for the Cats, the pitching wasn't great, but the hitting, it's just balanced. You look up and down the lineup, it seemed like everybody got between 1 and 3 hits. Emilian Petre, Ryan Waldschmidt each get 3. Jace Felker gets a hit, knocks in 3 runs. Everybody in this lineup hit yesterday. 16 hits, 6 walks. The Cats now 13-10 in the SEC and number 1 in the RPI as of Sunday morning. Everybody keeps trying to dismiss Kentucky as a host because of that SEC record and because of various things, because of what's going to happen next, and Kentucky's going to lose. Well, don't look now, but Kentucky's got a shot if it can just get to 16 or 17 wins in the SEC to host, and who knows, maybe host 2 weekends, depending on where that SEC win total ends up. We'll get to that in our regional projections this week. LSU had a chance to put a little bit of distance between itself and the field in the SEC's overall standings. Auburn said no thanks. Auburn scores an 8-6 win over LSU despite getting out hit 12-7. For LSU, Ty Floyd, who's been good for them at times, goes 3 2/3, gives up 3 earned. The bullpen, none of those guys were very good. Auburn, Tommy Vale gives the Tigers another good start. Not a quality start, I guess, by the definition of the word, because he had to go 5 innings. But if you can go 4 innings and give up 1 earned run against LSU, you've done a pretty good job. And that's what he did to LSU in Auburn on Saturday night. For the Tigers, Hagen Travinsky, that's the LSU Tigers, hits a home run. And for Auburn, I guess the offensive star really wasn't one. Bobby Pierce gets a couple hits. Auburn just walks 7 times, gets 7 hits, turns those into 8 runs. Again, I think the big thing when you're facing LSU is getting quality pitching, and Auburn got enough with Tommy Vale. Auburn now 10-13 in the SEC, and I think if the NCAA tournament were picked today, Auburn would be in the field. Before we get to the rest, our channel is presented by our friends at the Bearded Iris Brewing Company. The Sylvan Supply location in Nashville is home to Black Dynasty Secret Ramen House. You will find a wide variety of comforting bowls of meaty and vegan-friendly ramen with house-made noodles alongside rotating weekly features, seasonal sides, salads, and desserts. So if you're in the West Nashville area, stop in, give those guys a shout-out from us, and tell them thank you for sponsoring our channel. Okay, normally I would bring this game up last because it's Ole Miss and Missouri, and Ole Miss wins that one 2014 in what resembled a slow-pitch softball game. But when a guy hits 4 home runs in a game, which is what Calvin Harris did, he gets special mention. That guy knocked in 10 runs. The 4 home runs in the game was a school record. I don't know if the RBIs were or not, but I'm guessing they either were or they were pretty close. Boy, the ball was really getting out of the yard at Taylor Stadium. In addition to that, Peyton Chatagnier for Ole Miss hit 2. For Missouri, it looks like a repeat of the game on Friday. Luke Mann, Hank Zeisler, Trey Morris, Ty Wilmsmeyer, Matt Garcia all hit home runs. Mann has had a really good year. The pitching for either side wasn't much, but the hitting was the story as Missouri pounds out 13 hits and Ole Miss 18. The Rebels also draw 6 walks. Anyway, Ole Miss salvages the series. Missouri wins it 2-1. Ole Miss now still last place in the SEC's overall standings. Okay, Georgia. If you're a Bulldog fan, you were waiting for that to go bad quickly yesterday because Charlie Goldstein, who has been, I think, far and away Georgia's best starter, after 2 pitches, comes out with look like maybe I don't know if it was a pulled hamstring or what it was, and you're just going, this is real trouble for Georgia given the way Tennessee hit the ball on Friday night. Well, Georgia brings in freshman lefty Jarvis Evans, who's not been a name we have mentioned on the show. He completely shuts Tennessee down for 5 1/3 innings, gives up 1 run. The bullpen of Chandler Marsh and Leighton Finley holds down Tennessee. Chase Dollander for Tennessee was good, but not great. Gives up 3 earned in 6 innings. For Georgia, Charlie Condon hits another home run. That's 20. I think that's maybe a freshman record for Georgia. But in any case, Georgia has evened the series with Tennessee, game 3 in Athens on Sunday. Alabama, I've said this on, the previous show. Let's give it a chance to see what Alabama is without Brad Bohannon, because, boy, who only knows what that's going to look like once we get to the bottom of that thing. But Alabama behind Jacob McNary, who was really, really good, had a good breaking ball that Vanderbilt was having trouble picking up. He goes 6 innings, gives up 1 run, strikes out 7. The bullpen freshman tandem of Cade Woods and Alton Davis II was good. Those 2 guys go 3 innings to close out the game. Vandy had the bases loaded in the 9th, but could not scratch across a run. I guess the big thing in this one, Matt Gassetti, who was a backup catcher at Florida a year ago, hits his 5th home run in the year. That was the go-ahead run in the 8th off Vandy's Thomas Schultz. Andrew Williamson had a home run off Devin Futrell earlier. Futrell for Vandy was really good once again. A lefty who I think if you picked all SEC teams today, he'd have a good case, depending on how many pitchers you pick to make a first team. But he was really good again on Saturday. But Vandy lost that one and lost the series 2-1 to Alabama. Commodores now, I think, a half game behind LSU for the SEC's overall lead. Okay, Florida, after beating Texas A&M the night before, gets obliterated in College Station. This one was run ruled. It seemed like Texas A&M in that 6th inning in which it broke open just hit forever. Also did it in the 4th with 8 runs. Florida just could not do anything right. Hurston Waldrop, the splitter was, boy, when it worked, hard to hit, but A&M just laid off it. He goes 3 innings, gives up 4 runs. The bullpen was awful. Chris Cortez for Texas A&M gets the win. He was good in Omaha a year ago, really came on down the stretch. That's a bright spot if you're A&M. Hunter Haas, Austin Bost, both hit home runs. A&M just hit the cover off the ball and ended that one early. The deciding game 3 takes place on Sunday in a win that A&M really needs to solidify its at-large hopes, and Florida needs if it is going to have a shot to compete for the SEC's overall title. All right, I'm Chris Lee of Southeastern 14, presented by Bearded Iris. We will be back with you Monday to recap Sunday's games. Give us a subscribe, which is basically a free follow. Give us a like. That helps our analytics. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again soon with more baseball content at Southeastern 14.